In 1942, Enrico Fermino at the University of Chicago and his science team created the world's first nuclear reaction. Now, at the time, this was absolutely groundbreaking because no one had ever thought to harness such a power like nuclear energy. But this was the creation of the world's most powerful, but yet most dangerous forms of energy. Now, my question is, should nuclear power be shut down? I believe nuclear power should be shut down. One reason is because simply it is too costly. Nuclear power is almost as expensive than solar, wind, and hydropower combined. In the last decade, solar power has dropped in price by 90%, whereas nuclear power has increased its price by 40%. Solar and wind energy costs about $38 per megawatt, whereas nuclear energy costs about $168 per megawatt to have. On average, a nuclear power plant costs about 12 to 20 billion to make. But there is also public safety. The workers that work at the nuclear power plants have a bunch of risks against them, such as the power plant itself, and also natural disasters in war and terrorism. Nuclear power plants, on average right now, are about 31 years old. Now, this causes a lot of problems, such as cracking in pipes, crumbling in concrete foundations, and valves and pipes loosening or decreasing. There are those people who also believe nuclear power is essential to the US. But why? Well, scientists have created nuclear power plants with cores that are much safer and efficient. They're cheaper, they take up less space, and they put out more power per square mile than any other power plant. With that also means that the radioactive waste is less toxic and safer for the workers to work on. Now, if the US continues down this path, we will become more self-reliant, more powerful, and less likely to have power outages. But why is nuclear power so bad for the environment? Well, it's pretty simple. The nuclear waste. Nuclear waste is extremely radioactive and toxic. If it leaks into the environment around it, it can cause that environment to become extremely toxic and unsafe to be in. This causes a threat to all the animals and plants in that environment, and to us humans as well. Now, if the nuclear waste gets into the water and that nuclear waste travels with the water flow, that can cause millions and millions of people to get either extremely sick or die. On average, nuclear waste takes about 100 years to dispose of. This means that after 100 years, the nuclear waste will finally be safe to operate on and properly dispose of. Due to past accidents, such as Chernobyl or other nuclear meltdowns or eruptions, we now know what nuclear waste can do to our environment, the plants and animals around it, and also us humans. To conclude, I believe nuclear power must be shut down. It is too costly, too dangerous, and it creates toxic waste that is extremely dangerous to humans and the environment around it. With the sea level rising and heat levels increasing, this causes problems for nuclear power plants in their cooling, which causes them to shut down more frequently. Now, if we want to cut back on greenhouse gases, we would need to produce twice as many nuclear power plants as we have right now until the year 2050. And if we do that, we will erase greenhouse gases by only 4%. With that, we also have cheaper and easier ways to produce energy like solar, wind, and hydropower. Now imagine our world and what it would be like if we didn't have nuclear power, how much safer and cleaner it would be, and how much healthier we would be. With that, we must shut down nuclear power plants. is extremely bad for us and our environment, and we need to take action now.